How's everyone doing? My name is Teddy Kolesnikov. I play soccer for Lake Forest College, and which is a Division III school north of Chicago by 30 miles. I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. Grown up there, lived there my whole life except when I went to school, and then where I'm actually at now. And today I want to talk about how I became on a USL 2 team, even though I played Division III. So I'll just start with what the USL 2 is. So it's basically like the highest pre-professional league in the United States, and it runs over like the summer months from May to the end of July is when the final is. There's about 70, 80 teams across the United States, and it's mainly filled with like top college players and then guys also out of college that are looking to play professionally, and so it's a good stepping stone to playing professionally. And a lot of players that have gone to play professionally have played in the USL 2. It used to be called the PDL, but it got renamed USL 2 in 2019. So I currently play for West Virginia United, which was formerly known as West Virginia Chaos and then West Virginia Alliance, but we rebranded, I think, earlier this year to West Virginia United in Charleston, West Virginia. So I just kind of want to tell my story about how I ended up making a USL 2 team, even though from a Division III school, and I really haven't had that much success even at my Division III school. So I was playing high school soccer, and I wanted to go play college soccer, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go play Division III. I'm going to go to a good academic school, and I also want to play there. So I looked for Division III schools, lots of different Division III schools, and I ended up committing to go to Lake Forest. And so my freshman year, I come in. I wasn't really expecting how much I was going to play, and I ended up playing actually a decent amount. I played in like 14 or 15 games. I came off the bench. I think I started like one game, but I was getting minutes as a freshman, and I was kind of surprised by it. I just didn't know how good everybody was, and so that definitely was a good like confidence booster. And then so freshman year ends. I'm expecting a pretty big sophomore year for myself. I played a decent amount my freshman year. Sophomore year rolls around, and that really didn't happen. I pretty much played probably about the same minutes I played my freshman year, which was pretty disappointing because I thought that I was going to play more in my sophomore year. I just thought I'd improved, but looking back at it now, I didn't put the work in, especially in the summer before. I really didn't put the work in, and I'm going to get into more of that now. I know I definitely didn't have as strong of like a mindset to really prioritize like getting fit and doing the training, and I really didn't do a lot of individual soccer training, unlike now. But yeah, so I go my sophomore year, I really didn't have a good season, right? And so that season ends, and around like the beginning of 2020, December 2019, January 2020, I started having like a shift, kind of like my mind. I was kind of like, first I wanted to like get fit, and I always like never thought I was like super fit like looking either. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to change my diet completely. I'm going to go hard in the gym, and I'm going to start doing a little bit of work by myself. I didn't really know what I was doing that much. I hadn't watched a bunch of YouTube videos of professional players and their drills and stuff, but I decided, all right, I'm going to go and start doing this. So I remember we get back for second semester of sophomore year, which is like January 2020, and I started like I was lifting like crazy. I was eating well. I like gave up drinking soda. I like was tracking my food, and then COVID hit. So we go home in March, and I had kind of realized my friend Joey, he was over in England. He goes to school there. He was doing a lot of training, and he made like a fitness Instagram account, and I remember seeing his like little stories and videos he would post about him training. I'm like, I need to do that. Like, I want to do that stuff. So eventually in March, we all have to go home, and Joey comes back from England. And I remember I hit him up, and I was like, hey, like, can we train sometime? Because I didn't really know anything about drills, and I just thought like I needed to improve like my technical ability, like confidence on the ball, confidence first touch. That was definitely what was lacking my sophomore year, which is why I didn't play that much. Played some, but I didn't really do that well. I had games where I was really subpar, let's just say. So Joey comes back, and I remember it was like early April and during COVID, and we started training. Like we trained on a Monday, and then we were like, all right, let's do it tomorrow. Tuesday train, Wednesday train, and then it literally became like an everyday thing. And weeks and like a couple months went by, and I was like completely changed. I was like super confident, and we had put all this work in, and I had just so much more confidence. I kind of started figuring out like soccer is something I really love, and I really think I could maybe go somewhere with it. I just need to really work hard because I'm not blessed with a bunch of talent or anything, but I think like if you work hard, like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So I was like, I'm just gonna rely on just working hard and just improving because soccer's a simple game. You do simple things. So I was like, let's just work on the basics all the time, and we did. And then so about this like that time, May 2020, I like heard about the USL 2. I started watching this YouTuber called Matt Sheldon. He's like a professional soccer player in the USL Championship, and he made a lot of training videos. So I started watching a bunch of his videos, like getting different drills and kind of his story and stuff. And he was talking about like he played Division 1, and then he played USL 2 PDL for like 2 years. And in the summer, and he was like, that's a great way, to get exposure and just play at a different level, and play with different players. And I was like, all right, I want to do that. Summer of 2021, because the whole league got canceled last year, because of COVID, of course. But I was like, all right, I want to play USL 2 2021. So I made that a goal of I'm going to play USL 2. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know really what to do, but I'm like, I'm going to play USL 2. That's a goal of mine. So I kept training, and last summer I ended up playing with my friend Joey. We played for this in this league called the Ohio Valley Premier League. It's like a U23 league that started in Cincinnati, and then it's kind of there's teams from like Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Kentucky. So it's a pretty big league, and we played for this team called the Cincinnati Saints, which was like a bunch of college guys. And so we were training, and that was the first time I really played with people since I really started putting all this work in, like 2-3 months before. And I was like, wow, I was completely different. I was playing really well. I thought I was definitely one of the better players, and all that work was really like showing. I was showing off the work I put in. I was playing well, and it was because I was confident. Was the most part. It was because I had confidence that I just really didn't have before. And so summer goes on, and I'm expecting to go back to school in the fall. That was also a huge thing, go back to school my junior year and have like a breakout season. That was what I was working for so much, was that in USL 2, was to have a breakout season and then use that film and use that like clout pretty much if I made an all-conference team or whatever to try, show that to coaches being like, okay, I can play USL 2 level. Well, summer goes on, and about early August we learn that our season is completely canceled. Our school is completely online, so we're not even going back to campus. So there was a few weeks in August, I was like, all right, what am I going to do? Because they talked about having a spring season. I was like, okay, we'll probably have a spring season, so I just need to stay ready for that. And I was like, I'm not going to stop working, even though I really don't have like a team right now. And so August kind of comes and goes. I was still training. My friend Joey went back to England, so I was doing a lot of training by myself. I was training with some other people, and then in September, I found about this opportunity to play OVPL again in the fall, but they were gonna have like an actual season, like a 10-game season. And my old club coach, his name is Alec Gates, he texted me one night. He was like, because he coaches at this club called King's Hammer, and he was like, King's Hammer is putting like this U23 team together. Like he sent me this like link or whatever, and he was like, you should do this pretty much. And I look at him like, yeah. I should do this. I want to play for this team. So I emailed the coach. His name's Paul Nicholson. I was like, hey, can I come to training tomorrow? And he was like, yeah, sure. So I think that was like the second training. It was like early September. So I went out. I trained with them for like a few days, and then I ended up like making the team or whatever. And that team was probably the best team I'd been on up to that point in my life. It was kind of the King's Hammer was kind of the Cincinnati Dutch Lions, were an old USL 2 team that just folded, and King's Hammer was kind of like a revitalization of the Dutch Lions. So it was the same coaches, a lot of the same players. Some of the players that had played in the summer were playing in the fall. So we had guys from like NKU and Xavier, and I just saw a lot of good players playing at a level I really had never played at before. So playing in the fall, we played from about mid-September to mid-December. We played, I think, like 13 or 14 games. We trained 3 times a week, and that was a huge step for me in my growth as a player. And it also gave me so much more confidence because it was like, hey, I can play with these D1 guys, and I can play with these guys that or like have graduated and played at Xavier, NKU, different schools like that. And so I wasn't starting at first, but we had an injury, and I actually kind of switched positions from like center, defensive mid to right back, and I kind of really loved it. I was playing right back, starting at right back, and I was like, wow, I think this is my spot, is right back, at least at higher levels. Maybe not like USL 2 level. Maybe at my school I'm still going to play CDM, but at USL 2 I was like, yeah, like I think I should be a right back. And so that season comes and goes. It ends in December, and I had really started my like search and trying to get on a USL 2 team. So I was sending out a bunch of emails to a bunch of different teams, and I was just trying to do everything to get on a team. And it was really hard. I don't blame a lot of the coaches. Like you look and you get an email from some D3 player who hasn't had that great of a career, and you're like, yeah, well, I don't want to take this kid. Like, he's not good. But I believed in myself. I thought I'm better than that, and I'm a completely different player that played now than that played those first 2 years of my school. 100% completely different. I've gotten so much better, and I haven't stopped training. I haven't stopped working, and I just have kept getting better and better. And so 2020 comes and goes, and that was pretty much probably the best year of my life. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just learned so much about myself. I kind of learned like what's important, like what I want to do. If I really focus my time on something, like cut out a lot of like distractions that are just a waste of time, honestly, then hey, I can really progress and keep going. And so 2021 comes, and so I was emailing teams. I heard back from a few, kind of, but nothing really. And so my friend, I'm not gonna say his name, but he was gonna play for Fort Wayne FC, which is a USL 2 team. So I went to their tryout. Like, I think it was like January 4th, and I thought I did pretty well. Like, there were 2 sessions. I was in the first one, and then they asked me to stay for the second one too. And I was like, okay, like maybe I'll get a chance. They were having some tryouts later again, like in March, like some asked people back to come. I thought I did pretty well. I didn't hear anything back, or I heard back like, hey, we don't want you. Like, I was like, all right, we'll just move on then. And then nothing really from teams. And then I emailed West Virginia. I emailed our assistant coach, and he actually got back to me and was like, hey, do you want to like talk on the phone? And I was like, yeah, this is pretty much the best thing I had so far. We talked on the phone, and he was like, yeah, I like your film. And he was like, could you come to a tryout we're having in late January, which is like 2 weeks after we had this phone call? And I was like, yeah, sure. It was like a Saturday. So I came out to that tryout, and again, still training. We didn't start school again until February. So I'm still training. I'm at home, still training a lot with my friend Joey, like every day, working hard. And so getting ready for this tryout. So I go out to West Virginia, to Charleston for this tryout. I did all right. I didn't do that much. I think I was fine, but I definitely don't think I did enough to like get a spot on the team. And so I hear back like a week later, and they're like, hey, like we don't think you did enough on that day to earn a spot, but they invited me back to another tryout that they were having like 3 weeks later. And they were like, you want to come? And I'm like, yeah, I want to come. I'm like, this is the best shot I got. So tryout was 3 weeks later, and then also I was supposed to go back to school in February to Lake Forest, but I decided to stay home again and do my classes online. because I wasn't sure if we were gonna have a season or not. They ended up playing a few games, but they were just friendlies. But I had a guaranteed team to play for in Cincinnati called Cincy SC, like U23 team, to play OVPL again in the spring, which is 6 games. Then we played like 2 other like friendlies, or like one was some cup game or something. But so I was like, I'm gonna stay home, classes online. I know that I can go to the gym here, I can train here. Like I know more of the COVID lay down than up in Illinois is a lot more restrictive up there. So I'm like, I'm gonna stay home. And that was actually probably a really good idea, because that means I could go to these tryouts. And if I didn't go to these tryouts, there's no way I would be on this team right now. So we're kind of starting things up with Cincy SC for the spring. And then this tryout happens again in February. I think it was like late February 20th, around then, something like that. So I go back out to that tryout. I think I definitely did better at that tryout than the first one. And then I hear back like a week later, and they were like, hey, like, we don't think you, like, have done enough, but we want to invite you to come train with the team for the first week. And I was like, okay. I was kind of disappointed at that point, so I was like, I just didn't know if they, like, maybe would want me or not, if they were kind of, like, just, like, I don't know. It didn't seem that great at first. So I was talking to the coach, my coach now, and I was like, can we just talk on the phone, like, just to, like, clear the air, not clear the air, but, you know, just, like, get all the details laid down before I make a decision. So we talked on the phone. He was like, yeah, like, I've, like, liked what I've seen so far. He's like, I just kind of want to see more of you, and I want to see more of you, like, with the other guys on the team, who are on the team, everybody on the team. And so he was like, we want to bring you in, and he was like, you'll be the only person that's, like, not on. He's like, I'm not bringing anybody else in. And he was like, I'm not bringing people just for, like, just to say, like, oh, we brought some players in from a tryout, you know, to train for the first week. He's like, no, like, he's like, I'm not gonna bring you in to waste your time, to waste my time. Like, if you're coming, like, we are, like, seriously considering you, like, for the team. So I was like, okay, that definitely made me feel better after that, like, talk on the phone. That was, like, early March. And so I thought about it, and I was like, all right, I think this is the best opportunity I have, so I'm going to do it. And then, so spring keeps going. I'm playing with Cincy SC. We weren't that great, but it was good for me because I got to play a lot of minutes. I was one of the better players on the team, which was fun. To play a bunch of minutes, kind of be one of the better players, like, kind of dominating training in our practice, like, team trainings, and then still doing all individual stuff by myself, meet my friend Joey, other people here and there, Jim. So I'm really, like, focusing. I'm like, all right, I got this opportunity coming up early May 7th. So May 7th rolls around, and so I have a week, you know, pretty much to show myself, see if I'm good enough. So we have training Friday night, Saturday morning, then we had a day off Sunday, training Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, day off Thursday, training Friday. So that was the first week. So, I think I played fine. I didn't stand out at all. I think I played fine. I think I did well enough to earn a spot. Definitely not well enough to start or, like, play that much or anything, but I wasn't coming for that. I want to be on a team because I want the exposure to that level. I wanted to be there for the training for the most part. Like, I don't really care about the games that much, honestly. Like, I came because I wanted to be in an environment where I was one of the worst players, because I know when you're one of the worst players and you're in an environment like that, you get better so much quicker. And that's what happened with King's Hammer, like, kind of at first. And after, like, months went by, I got so much more comfortable. I was playing way better than I started at, like, the beginning of the season in September. By the end, I mean, it was like night and day. And so I was like, if I can do this, this will be great, instead of playing at home for an OVPL team where we would only train maybe a couple times a week. Yeah, I get to play games, play a lot of minutes, but I'm like, I'm going to probably do that at school anyway, so I wanted to be in a place where I was really, like, challenged. And so the days go by here, first 5 days, and on that Wednesday, we had training Wednesday morning, and I wasn't really sure. Like, I talked to him, like, Monday. I was like, hey, like, when are you going to let me know? I'm just wondering. He was like, yeah, we'll let you know, like, before Wednesday. And then I'm still there Wednesday. We train Wednesday, and then I asked him again. I'm like, do you guys have, like, a decision yet? And he was like, yeah, like, he was like, let me talk to our assistant coach and just I'll call you later today. I was like, all right. And on that Wednesday, I thought I did fine the first 4 days, like Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. But Wednesday, I had a horrible practice. Like, I don't know, I was super nervous, and because I don't know, I just thought like maybe I was going home that day. So it definitely messed with my head, and that was my fault. But you live and learn. So not a good practice at all. But that night I get a text, and they were like, yeah, we want to offer you a spot. And we're like, we're probably not going to play very much, but, you know, we want to offer you a spot. And I was like, I'm in. I made it, finally. Like, I was so happy. I mean, it was I'm definitely not where I want to be yet, but this was just such a great, like, step and such a great, like, kind of relief for a few minutes. Just be like, I came from D3. Coming from D3, I haven't done anything special. I haven't proved really that I should play at this level based on my resume alone. But I've worked so hard this whole year, this past like 14 months. I've missed a few days of training. Like, I had COVID. If I went on vacation, I would still do something, you know. I rarely take a day off, like a day off. I do something. And so that was just so awesome to realize, like, hey, like, I put all this work and I put myself out there. I believed in myself, and I got this opportunity to play at this level. I'm the only Division III player on my team. We have like 30 guys. I'm the only one. There's not many in this league. So I really take a lot of pride in that. And, yeah, I just really proud of myself. I think I really accomplished something that I think a lot of people wouldn't like try and would be scared, because I mean, you have to put yourself out there, and I got told no, I got ignored by a lot of teams, and it definitely, like, it humbles you, and it makes you, like, it puts you down, but you just got to stay strong. You got to keep working, and you never know. All you need is one team to say yes. I kept saying that last year. I was like, I need one team to say yes, just one team. And I got a yes from this team, and it's late June now. I've been here for about like 6-7 weeks, and it's been great. I've been growing a lot, training a lot. I love training with this really good group of guys and this really high level, because it's a level I haven't played at yet, and I really wanted that exposure, and I wanted to put that on my resume, like, hey, I played USL 2, and I didn't go the easy route at all. I didn't take the easy route. I took the hard route. I took the route of trialing and coming into a team to trial as the only player and not knowing when I could maybe go home or stay here or whatever. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for my kind of story of how I made it onto a USL 2 team from Division 3. And, I mean, I plan to keep on going. I got a season for Lake Forest in about 2 months. I'm expecting a very big season out of myself, and then I still have 2 years of eligibility. I don't know what's going to happen next year. I want to play USL 2 again here, maybe somewhere else. I'm not really sure. But now that I got my foot in the door, I think it'll be a lot easier to get on a team next year. And it's just given me a lot of confidence, like, hey, I mean, I did this myself. I didn't really have much help. I didn't have many people backing me. I had to do this myself. I put in the work. I sent all those emails. I did all the training. So if that's just some advice, like, you can do pretty hard things in your life. You just gotta put the work in, honestly, and you gotta believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you're done. And I've had those moments. I had those moments before. I was very not confident, and I sucked when I played because I was not confident. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to work on this stuff every day because it's going to build my confidence. And then when I go out and play, I'm not even going to think about it. I'm going to be just super confident because I've worked every day on this stuff. So I think building confidence, you got to put the work in behind it to have confidence. Like, you can try to fake it, but I don't really think that works for me, at least. I can't really fake it. I got to know, like, hey, I've worked every day. I've worked for a whole year, you know, just, like, on the same thing, just trying to get better at this game, you know, and just dedicating a lot of my life to just getting better at this game and just to keep going and see where I end up. I mean, I'm gonna bet on myself, and I'm gonna keep working really hard, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's my story. I'm gonna stop rambling now, but yeah, if you have any questions, I'm gonna link my Instagram in the description of this video. And yeah, this is kind of gonna be my first video of this YouTube channel. I don't really know what it's gonna be yet. I kind of got a few videos, like some highlights and like a couple lifting videos, but maybe I'll start making some vlogs. I really don't know, some cooking videos, something, but I kind of wanted to put this out there. I just think like it's a pretty cool story. Like I think that it just shows and also you don't have to play D1. You don't have to play whatever. Like you can come from D3. You just gotta work, and you just have I think like you'll get recognized no matter what level you play at. Like a coach will recognize talent, whatever level you play at, how good you are. So yeah, so definitely subscribe to my channel. I don't have many subscribers right now, so subscribe. And yeah, if you have any questions or anything, like comment or DM me on Instagram or whatever. So yeah, thank you. I hope you all enjoyed this video. And yeah, welcome to my YouTube career, I guess. We're starting, so alright. Thanks guys, bye.